Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to another top 5 video. Today we have the top 5 overrated tech tree tanks, and these are 5 tech tree tanks that I hate, or they are just useless, and they're tanks that people think are good, where I simply don't. And there is some, this tank here, the T95, I just think is appalling. It's useless, boring. If you get caught out of position in this thing, then you're dead. You're absolutely dead. Yes, it has the armor, but it is so freaking slow. And in a tier where you're going to be up against tier 10s, tier 8s, and a lot of fast tanks with good DPM, you're going to get absolutely wrecked. Now, we are going to let a T54 come behind us because he flanked around. And we're now going to be in a position where we literally can't do nothing. There is nothing we can do. And that is what I hate about this tank in particular. I've never liked the tank, and I don't think I'm ever going to like playing this tank. So that is the T95 first on my list at the most overrated tanks. Now, people that play the tank actually like it, but no, not me, I don't. Next up, we have the IS. Now, this one is a bit, it's a good tank. It's a good tank, but again, just like the T95, when you're up against tier 8s in this thing, the armor profile is not the greatest, and for a Russian heavy, it's got a lot of weak points. It's got a lot of weak points, and people won't agree with me with this IS being on this list, but it's a very popular tank because it leads to the IS-7, which is one of the most played heavies in tier 10, in fact. So a lot of people play this tank, and a lot of people like the tank. And I'm not saying it's a bad tank. It's not a bad tank. I just think it's overrated. And now the speed is actually really good. The pen's good. You can have HE rolls like this, 544. But what I really find disappointing about the tank is that armor profile. It has a lot of weak points. The front plate, the bottom, the upper, the hatch on top, where if you start getting to like the IS-3, IS-8, etc., the hatch on top obviously it's non-existent. So, but the IS, it does have that massive hatch on top, so you can't really even hold down. The aim time takes 2 years to go in, as you can see, but the speed is really nice. The speed is really nice, and it's not a bad tank at all. It's just, in my opinion, overrated. Next up, we have the AMX 1390, and I've spoke to a lot of people that I don't like this tank, and they are all like, why? It's a good tank. I love the Batchat. I absolutely love the Batchat, but this in tier 8, I do think it's not the best of tanks, and again, I think it is overrated. Now, this game, we're actually going to pull off a win here, but we are very low hit points. We are winning on supremacy points, so as long as they don't capture C, which is where I'm going to run now, they can have 2 cap points, no problem at all. Now, I do like the speed. The speed is absolutely fantastic. The penetration isn't the best. The DPM isn't the best either. And again, you're coming up against tanks in tier 7, tier 8, tier 9. You're coming up against a lot of tanks, a lot of quick tanks with great DPM. Now, we do get very, very lucky. This game leaves us on 7 HP. And now all I've got to stay alive is for like another 30 seconds. And I don't really want to go up against the Panther because he is full hit points. So we're just going to stay, we're going to hide, and we are going to earn our Kolobanov. So the AMX, I don't think is the best of autoloaders, best of light tanks, nowhere near as good as the Batchat. So that is in my list as overrated tanks. Next up, we have the Death Star. Of course, the Death Star. This has always been overrated in my opinion. It did get a big nerf. I still don't think it needed that big nerf, and ever since it's been performing really, really bad. Now, you're still going to get these games big damage games, of course, you have the highest alpha in the game. So you're still going to have these games where you could do big damage in this thing. But the reality of this tank is just because you see someone have a big game, you're not going to get that all the time. I mean, we've just been shot there by another Death Star because he anticipated that I would be in that position. And I was. So I got blind shotted for 900 damage. Now, the reality of this tank is things like this. Like, yes, you're going to try and fire as much hesh as you can because of that alpha. But the reality of it is 8 times out of 10, you're going to fail. You're going to fail roll, and you're only going to do, as we've just done there, 486 damage, which still isn't bad considering we only hit the track. You're doing 500 damage almost. But you do have a 19.9 second reload. So is it really worth doing 500 damage for the next 20 seconds? So the reality of this is the accuracy's bad, the camo's bad, but you're still going to have these high damage games. Now, we're going to have a very freaking troll shot in a minute when we're going to get a grill. And I'm going to look at him and thinking, oh, juicy. He's not moving. The reality then kicks in, what this tank and what actually happens most of the time when you are driving the Death Star. So at the moment, it is a 4 versus 4. I was just about to run away until that grill gets open. And look, he's not moving. Not moving. We're going to fire, and we freaking hit something in front and do 0 damage to that grill. So that is the reality of driving the Death Star. Next up, we have the SU-152. Yes, again, this is a tank people absolutely love. It's pretty unique with that 152mm gun, but I honestly don't like the tank. I really don't like it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yes, it has that big alpha gun. Penetration absolutely sucks. So unless you're top tier, you are going to struggle. But most of the time, you're going to find yourself shooting HE. Because even there, I mean, we've got the side of this IS who's trying to side scrape. Fair play to him. He's doing it right. But sadly for him, I do have HE, and we can still do 400 damage to the side of him. But I honestly don't enjoy this tank, and I do think it is overrated completely. As I've said, the penetration sucks. The AP sucks. What is it? A tier 6, 5, tier 6 gun. What is enjoyable is when you can do full max rolls like this to a tier 8 tank. That is fun. That is fun in any derp tank, indeed, to do that. So I don't enjoy the tank. I don't think it's a great tank. When it pays off, then yes, it's gonna pay off and you're gonna have some fun. But that's the same with any tank. But I definitely do think that this tank is overrated. It's not a fantastic tank. It doesn't really have any armor and the penetration. I mean, there's really no point shooting AP because you're not going to be able to pen anything with the AP unless, of course, you are top tier coming up against those tier 6s. But then again, when that happens, you should be pretty much shooting a HE. So it's only fun when you can get those max rolls and with the HE. Other than that, you're only going to do splash damage. It does get boring doing sort of 300 to 400 damage in a tank that can do over 1100 damage. So unless you're top tier, then you do really have to deal with that. So this game is, I mean, we've actually done all right this game, and we've managed to stay full hit points, and there's just 1 tank left alive against 6. So again, we're just going to splash him with HE because we're not going to risk bouncing. There's no point risk bouncing on this thing. Yes, we could probably shoot heat and do more damage, but we wanted to go for the guaranteed damage, and we do get the win, and I do actually get the ace. So that is my top 5 overrated tech tree tanks. Coming up soon, tomorrow maybe, will be my top 5 overrated premium tanks. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm meadsy69. Let me know your top 5 overrated tanks. They won't be the same as mine, I guarantee. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon.